Okay, look at this top headline. Did Wall Street actually fund the Bolshevik Revolution? Where, they killed many, many millions of Christians, slaughtered them. You don't hear about that in the mainstream media because they own the mainstream media. All you hear about is their bullshit one, okay? Pardon my French. The elite and their privileges in the Soviet Union, yeah. So apparently there's a whole wealthy class there. It's just the rest of them that are the slaves. That's what communism is. Okay, if you need permission to quit your job, you're a slave. There's another one, okay. Soviet privileged class under fire, perks of the party. Yeah, but I'm trying to find, basically the elites, the wealthy rich elite, are funding communism everywhere. That's why they're so powerful. It's not a handful of poor people saying, come on, share the wealth. No, it's the filthy rich saying, you're going to be a communist, whether you like it or not. Now get in your cage. That's what's going on. Hang on, I'm going to pause this for a minute. Okay, yeah, because they were hiding some results from me. And this is looking in Yandex, which is better than Google. Google will hardly show you anything, but here, look at that one right there. Communism is actually funded by the wealthy elite. That's on YouTube. And this one is too, YouTube. Communism, shocking secret, funded by the elite. Okay? Yeah, hang on. I'm going to pause it one more time. Okay, that's actually my channel. Hang on. Here, this is somebody else's channel. Wait a minute.
Understand that things like communism, like Karl Marx, it's in and of himself, was a funded construct of the world's richest people. Every communist revolution is funded by the world's wealthiest, most elite. Okay? The Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, heavily financed, only financed by the Warburgs, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. You have to understand that this was
basically
a reality.
They're taking, it was New York bankers and the names you mentioned, but they're taking our money and then sending it over there to overthrow other democracies or republics. And then when they gobble all those up, then we're next. Okay, that's what's going on. They're real life monsters. Again, if you need permission to quit your job, you're a slave. In China, if you complain, you can get 10 years in prison and your organs often get out before you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pause it again for a minute. So here's a couple things. Cultural Marxism and the war in the family. Okay? Remember, the filthy rich elite are funding communism. And communism, the Communist Manifesto agenda says they need to destroy the traditional family. They are attacking all families, okay? And if you watch my other videos, I told you how they're doing it with the phones, okay? They can send any pre-recorded brainwaves, any emotions, depression, anger, all that. They can bombard your house with it. Not just your phone, but your smart meter. And that's why they forced them on everybody, okay? Smart meter is has the same parts as a cell phone. And if you cover it, it does nothing. You see all these experts just cover it. I'm an expert. I know about free electricity from way back before it was popular, okay? I'm on their list for giving people old U.S. patents from the 1890s. That's just Tesla, Stubblefield, and other ones. And I tell you right now, covering your smart meter does nothing because it's connected to the wires in your wall, all right? And that is the antenna. You are inside the antenna. It's all around you. Pausing it again. Here, you can pause that and read all that if you want, or I'll read it to you. Cultural Marxism and the War in the Family. Excuse me. I know firsthand they attacked my family. The communists of old who used guns and tanks to take over a nation, and the cultural Marxists of more recent times who seek to take over a nation from within, have both made it clear their hatred for marriage and family, and have done all they can to destroy both. Okay? Sexual mortality in general was targeted by the activists. Everything from abortion, free sex, homosexuality, so on and so on. Okay, so they do not want any families. Family is unity, and unity is numbers, and numbers is strength. There's power in numbers. They want you broken down into individual, isolated units. Helpless. Pausing again. You can pause that and read it, but what I'm going to say is that, hang on. Well, first I want to say, search Yandex, Yandex. You get better results. Google tries to hide it, and Google spies on you. I remember I was trying to defend Barbecue Becky years ago. I was trying to make a video where I show a child who burned their feet on coals, and it was terrible. Discarded coals because they stay hot all day. And I myself burned my feet in the sand once when I was a kid, many, many years ago. But and they were buried in the sand. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And I stood there. I stopped. I stood there for some reason, and my feet worked their way down. I was doing a twist or something, right into the coals. Yeah, to remind me all these years later when I saw Barbecue Becky. So I Googled child injured by hot coals. Those were my words. That was my search criteria. Google gave me nothing but Barbecue Becky propaganda, anti-white propaganda, trying to turn blacks against whites and divide and conquer us and pit us against each other. And none of the words they gave me were in my search criteria. Remember, Google, the most comprehensive search engine in the world. Not only that, but it's connected to the CIA. How could they make a stupid mistake like that? Well, then again, they openly admitted they will now propagandize U.S. citizens, which means they don't work for you, which means they never did, which explains why Gary Webb turned up dead after discovering they flooded our country with crack cocaine. Okay. Let me pause it one more time here. Okay, here's the American thinker. The less war in the family. He's not using the word communist where he does down here, but yeah, it's well known if anyone who's well read and educated and turned the boob tube off and started reading books and stuff, or just looking for the truth, because it's in their own propaganda agenda to take over the media. I wish they did already. So here we have communists funded by the filthy rich elite, communists trying to destroy the traditional family, and U.S. patents. That's just our country, right? Going back to the 90s, okay? 30 years ago. Imagine what they can do with it today. These patents go back to the 90s, 30 years ago, where they can put thoughts in your head, put emotions in your head, make you feel a certain way. Okay? And same people control that who want to destroy the family. So if you're having trouble in your marriage and you have a cell phone or a smartphone, which Obama made sure everybody would have one, even at the expense of other taxpayers. So I got to pay for yours, even though I'm paying for mine. Communism, yeah. Why would they want us to have a little device that can transmit frequencies? And oh, wow, it's just like the thing in the patent. Only all these years later, they could shrink it down and fit it in a phone, because all it is a microcomputer that can transmit frequencies, including pre-recorded brainwaves. Interesting. Also, the towers, big cell towers, long been known that they transmit on brainwave frequencies, or can and do right at the cusp of it, but with no valid explanation as to why. They've never answered the question. Why there? Okay, so in other words, it can send out shit whenever it wants. And I think it's sending out, everything's okay. Just go have fun, right? Nothing's wrong. But for those who shake it off and say something's wrong, well, then they target you with your personal device, okay? Plus, your personal device, like I said, anyone married, especially if you got kids, they're targeting you with these phones and breaking up your marriages, because kids who come from a broken home have much less self-esteem and show much less leadership skills. They don't want any leaders amongst you. Just good little slaves. They want to lead you themselves, okay? I'm going to stop this for now. And I'll probably get deleted anyway, or shadow banned or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm Kevin Charles Perkins. And they had to lure us away from God to do what they're doing to us now. Run, don't walk. Run back to God.